will be happening here that day?
Well, throughout the day, we'll be offering passport, overseas voter registration, civil registration, and the legalization or the red ribboning of documents. Those are not free. There will be regular fees involved, but you know, it's a Sunday, and this is the first time that we'll be opening up on a weekend to also service our kababayans who cannot make it on regular work days.
What hours will the event be? From what hour to what time?
Well, for the consular services, passport, overseas voter registration, and the civil registration, that will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The legalization or red ribbon of documents, that will be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And then the seminars will start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
For one who would want to avail of these services or would want to transact business with this government agencies, what does he or she have to bring?
Well, you can check our website for the complete requirements on, you know, applying for a renewal of passport, for civil registration, and for the other consular services. No appointment is needed, so this will be done on a walk-in basis. For the seminars, although registration is encouraged, again, we are open. We will accept walk-in. And I forgot to mention, the SSS officer and the Pag-ibig representative who will be here will have their own workstation. So for the members of SSS and the Pag-ibig who would like to, just talk about their investments and their memberships, they will be free from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. also on Sunday.
Mr. Tates, if one couldn't make it on Sunday, does the embassy do this thing often, like within the year, or how many times a year do you guys open up for these kinds of services?
Well, we're hoping to do this now every year, in celebration of Independence Day, because we realize it's not really enough to hold, cultural events and diplomatic receptions. It will be more meaningful also if we are going to do something special for our fellow Filipinos who should be celebrating Independence Day with the embassy.
Very productive way to celebrate, Ms. Daryl. Thank you for joining us.
Salamat din po. Salamat po.
In Washington, D.C., I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmod for Eagle News.
Thank you, Eliza. In a panel discussion about social media and faith sponsored by Rice University, experts discuss how today's generation might be influenced by social media when it comes to spirituality. EBC's Sharon Vaughn with the story.
Has social media really taken over people's lives? If you think so, to what extent? How do institutions like churches deal with what seems to be an inevitable takeover? In a panel discussion hosted by Rice University, the relationship between social media technologies and religion will be addressed today.
Religion starts at home, an adage that undoubtedly applied to past generations. But experts say throw into the equation the internet, social media, and online churches, then the new generation's formula for learning religion completely changes. In a discussion hosted by Rice University's Religion and Public Life program, panelist Heidi Campbell discussed the intersection of faith and social media. Campbell explained the difference between offline and online religious standards.
One of the challenges for most religious institutions, if they are using digital media, is that they see it basically as, okay, offline is the standard and the online is the alternative, or maybe the extension. Whereas the new generation is saying that no, the online culture sets the standard, and then the offline should adapt to or engage with the digital media. And so this means religious communities are having to kind of rethink the way that they see reality. The young people that are coming into their spaces don't kind of read the world the same way they do, and that can be a challenge if they're coming in with two different views of how the world works.
Campbell said in order for religious organizations to make their presence felt online, they still have to build relationships with the community and have individuals spread the word for them. Social media, she said, could be a very helpful tool to bridge what she calls a digital divide.
And so religious institutions have to, again, be more robust in how they present themselves. They have to kind of, it's the search engines are not going to help them in many respects. What they're going to need to do is build those relationships and use the individuals in their community kind of spreading the word. So, a lot of people say that, they don't trust authorities, but they trust the people who are their friends. So building relationships with people outside of institutions is becoming an important way and strategies to get religion on people's radar. And building those connections through social networks and social media can be important for bridging that digital divide.
Panelist Felicia Song said that religions in the United States have become increasingly therapeutic, and that social media simply takes this focus on the self and reproduces it.
The focus has been increasingly on how religion can help increase fulfillment in your own life, rather than a more traditional understanding of religion that is perhaps more focused on a understanding of one's relationship with the transcendent or the divine. And so in that sense, I would say social media is simply taking what has already been happening in religious communities, kind of a movement towards the focus on the self, and reproducing that through social media by letting people post and pictures and comments about themselves, but also amplifying it, because that is what the medium is for. That is the platforms like Facebook and Instagram encourage us to do that, rather than trying to speak to some larger good or community.
Song said faith communities have to examine if social media is actually helping guide people to the direction these communities wish them to go.
Right, some faith communities particularly revere particular texts, practices, locations. I think the communities themselves, perhaps, this is what I would argue, that the communities themselves need to really dig deeper into their traditions and say, hey, this is what we're really committed to. Let's try to interrogate back on social media and say, is this helping us, right? Is this helping us bring our people in the direction, creating the posture of their souls in the directions that we are committed to, believing that this is how human beings are made.
For some, basing faith on what is seen only on social media could be alarming.
Well, what came to me first was that people are picking and choosing what they want to believe religiously. That, as a Christian, is kind of scary. And I'm thinking about my grandchildren who are in their 20s and 30s and wondering what they are doing out there that I don't know about. So they, of course, are very much on social media. So it was interesting just to learn that people are doing this and not really coming into the established churches or synagogues or whatever.
But for Gideon Salazar, social media is neither friend nor foe. It is more of a tool available to religious institutions in spreading the word.
There's social media can really have a great impact on religion depending on how you use it. I think social media is not necessarily an evil or a good, but it's a tool. And I think religious institutions, churches need to be able to weigh in what ways they want social media to contribute to their religious vibrancy at their church or whatever religious institution they're part of.
Iglesia Ni Cristo minister Brother Robert Pelin, director of operations for INC Media, the media arm of the global religious organization, says it is beneficial to learn how social media could help amplify religious teachings.
The two speakers gave important insight on the difference nowadays with young people and their use of social media and how it relates to who they are. Many may be considering themselves more of their online personality being who they are, as opposed to their human walking about and talking about person who they are. And that's the one that goes into the houses of worship. That's the one that sings praises to God. The walking, talking human being is the one that participates in helping their community better itself and helping people in need, which Church of Christ members do so much. So if we can take something of greatest value from what was spoken of by the speakers tonight is that we need to keep it in its proper place and not be over or defeated by it and lose our humanity, lose our walking, talking human self to the cyber world, such that we would no longer be interested to go into the houses of worship and sing and pray and do things that we have always done traditionally as Christians and servants of God inside the Church of Christ.
There's no doubt that social media will continue to be a part of people's lives. And for many, religion will never be outdated. Then it's no surprise that we will continue to have these discussions on the intersection of the two. Reporting from Rice University here in Houston, Texas, for Eagle News, I am Sharon Vaughn, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Sharon. Very interesting insights from that one. Up next, letting the best donut find you. NYC Annual Classic Street Games gets kids off couches and onto the playground. Plus, Yestercades keeps alive classic arcade games. East Coasters join a worldwide anti-poverty walk in Johnsonville, Connecticut. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return in a moment.
Welcome to the garden. A world that recaptures the value of life, creating your moments, kindling your passion, worth reliving over and over. This is your world, your life, your garden.
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Have a craving for donuts? What better occasion to find the best one or letting the best one find you than on International Donut Day? EBC Sacramento Bureau takes us along for a taste of the city's most frequented donut shops.
Hi, I'm Eric Kananan. From classic to creative, you're sure to find a special donut shop in every city. We're going to take you around Northern California to see what type of donuts they have to offer. First up, Oak Grove, California.
Happy National Donut Day, everyone! Can we all agree that donuts are one of the best breakfast items out there? Today, we are here at Golden Donuts, here in Oak Grove. We are here to answer the question, what makes their donuts golden? Golden Donuts has been around for 18 years, a family-owned business that has been passed down from the previous generation. The owner has held on to its traditional flavors, but has also added a modern twist to the menu and to the overall establishment. This is homemade whipped cream. Always good. Here at Golden Donuts, it's all about family, quality ingredients, and building relationships with new and regular customers. And that's what makes this place truly golden. Now, let's check out donut shops.
Hey guys, Ika here in Fremont, California at Donuts, where they're going to be celebrating their 1-year anniversary on the weekend of International Donut Day. Let's take a look inside. Donuts specializes in the artistry and design of their donuts. But not only that, they also make custom orders for any special events. So here we have what they call the unicorn donut. This is one of their most popular donuts. and honestly, it looks too pretty to eat. But let's go ahead and see what it tastes like. That's actually really sweet. It tastes like rainbows and magic, exactly what you think a unicorn would taste like. The texture is incredibly fluffy. I think I'm gonna keep eating this. If you're ever in Fremont, California, be sure to check out some of the classic to exotic donuts. And don't forget to take a selfie at the famous donut wall. But don't go nuts with that just yet. Catch up with our friends in Roseville and check out some Bad Bakers.
What's up? Thank you so much, Ike. It's Josh right now. We're in Roseville, California. We're here at Bad Bakers. Not only did this restaurant, give 1,000 free donuts to the city of Sacramento, but also within their first 2 to 3 months of opening, they won the Sacramento Donut Festival of 2017. So in my hand right now, I have the unicorn clouds, but I'm gonna save this best for last. Right here in the box, we have the shorty cakes. Now what's so extraordinary and unique about this donut, you actually get to inject your own cream shot into it. On the count of 3, we're gonna go ahead and inject this. We're gonna do this together. 1, 2, 3. How does it taste though? I think that's the question we're trying to ask ourselves. Let's go try it right here, right now. So this donut is very creamy, it's very good. Inside right now you have that pink cream. Overall, very good donut. Next time you're in Roseville, California, make sure to come to Bad Bakers. Now, let's go to Vallejo. Let's go try out some donuts over there.
Hi everyone, I'm Hazel, and today we're here at Royal Jelly Donuts in Vallejo, California. Now whether you consider donuts as a breakfast item, a snack, or a dessert, this is the perfect place for a classic treat. This family-owned establishment has been around since the 1980s and has been nominated and won Best Donuts in the Solano magazine, as well as being the best donut shop in the Napa, Solano, and Yolo counties. Now, what makes this donut shop a classic place where families return year in and year out? Let's take a look. Nothing says classic like your chocolate sprinkled donuts. The soft, pillowy texture, combined with the creamy chocolate and colorful sprinkles, make for an enjoyable treat. So whenever you find yourself in Vallejo, check out this place, Royal Jelly Donut. And now, for more donuts, let's go to Sacramento, California.
Thank you, that looks amazing. We're at Baker's Donut at Sacramento. I'm Nelson Pineda.
I'm Candace Caldo.
Baker's Donut has been open since 1985.
And they're most famous for the cronuts. Let's try one right now. This one is a maple bacon cronut, and it's a combination of a croissant and a donut. Let's try one.
You actually get a bite of both maple and bacon as each bite, and you have that saltiness and sweetness that balances out.
You can definitely taste the flakiness coming from the croissant, but you still have the essence of a donut. So the next time you're in the Sacramento area, definitely try out Baker's Donuts.
Thanks for joining me as we took a look at some awesome donut shops. Hopefully you find a special donut shop in your city too. From Sacramento, California, I'm Aaron Kananan, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Sacramento Bureau, and thank you, Donuts, for getting me hooked on coffee. After putting on those calories, it's time to burn them. Let's head over to the city that never sleeps, where the NYC Annual Street Games event gets kids off their couches and onto the playground. Tenny Sumagi with the story.
It's a beautiful day here in New York City, where the 11th Annual Street Games are held at Thomas Jefferson Park. Here in the East Harlem community, classic street games were introduced to kids of all ages, sponsored by the New York City Parks and Recreation and the Walt Disney Company.
So Street Games is an event where we try to get kids out from their couches playing video games and all the modern technological stuff, and coming out and playing the games that their parents and grandparents played. Things like double dutch and hula hooping and wall ball and stickball. We've been doing street games now for over a decade with a long-standing sponsor, Disney. And each year we like to maybe add a little bit of a modern twist to the event. This year we're incorporating skateboarding and learn to skate activity into the event. We have a brand new skate park in Thomas Jefferson Park that just opened. Thomas Jefferson Park here in East Harlem has been the home of street games for the last 10 years or so. And yeah, it's just a great day for people to come out and also learn that they don't need a lot of equipment to enjoy our parks or have a good time.
I am a native New Yorker, and I was very fortunate that at a young age I was able to find these alternative sport activities and create a life out of those activities. I traveled around the world as a competitive athlete, and now we're bringing it home where we're able to share now our passion with the youth. So it's very important to us personally that we're able to come back into these communities, engage with the youth, and share our love for these types of activities and give the kids opportunity and exposure to these types of activities that otherwise they wouldn't have had access to.
Wall ball, also known as handball, is a classic New York street game, which is cheap and fun.
There's about 2,000 handball courts in New York City alone. So if you walk down the block, there's a handball court. All you need is a ball and a wall. Handball is very good when it comes to hand-eye coordination. So it's a very good start for when kids want to play tennis and basketball, because hand-eye coordination is used in almost every sport that you play. So it's very important for kids to start off with handball. It's easy.
And who can forget about stickball? Similar to baseball, this classic iconic New York street game has roots dating back to as early as the 1930s.
Stickball's been around since like the 30s, 40s, 50s. Stickball itself is a simple sport, right? You don't need much. You need really your imagination, but just really a stick and a ball, right? At its core, it's a very simple game, and I love it because it just brings myself and my friends closer. I see them every single Sunday during the summer, and I enjoy that.
One of the newest and popular events was skating, as a skate park recently opened to the community.
This is my first time skateboarding. I like it because I guess it's easily accessible and you can go faster than walking.
I like it because it's not a dangerous thing, but you're still having fun, and you can do cool tricks and stuff. I play jumping rope, and double dutch, and roller skate. Which one was my favorite was the double dutch.
Why did you love double dutch?
Because it was fun, because you needed to hop like this.
As we can see, street games are the heart and soul of New York City. Today's generation are reintroduced to these classic games. Reporting from New York, I'm Tenny Sumagi, always 1 with 25.
Thanks, Tenny. Coming up, Yestercades keeps alive classic arcade games. East Coasters join a worldwide anti-poverty walk in Johnsonville, Connecticut. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return shortly.
Letters and Music, lunes hanggang biyernes